I almost shit myself, okay? I have no clue who bought me my first dance pole. I just know it showed up on my doorstep one day with a note addressed to me saying, here's your opportunity. Although this is the first video, I feel like I'm sitting in front of this camera for the millionth time because I've told this story so often. It no longer feels foreign to me. That said, I still don't know how to start an intro. Hi, my name is KJ. I am a pole instructor, pole performer, exotic dancer, DJ, photographer, human being with many, many hobbies, and pole happens to be at the center of most of those hobbies. Today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about my journey and how I got started with pole dancing, what propelled me into that lifestyle, and the pros and cons of that. I'd like to talk a little bit about what I love about it, what I dislike about pole, and the challenges that I've faced in my journey. My intent is that hopefully sharing this with you will give you insight and potentially inspire you to do something new, whether that's pole or anything else that you might be interested in. My pole journey begins many years ago, of course, like most of our journeys do, with our upbringing. You know, I was raised in an extremely conservative home. My mother was a single parent, and she was extremely conservative because she didn't want her young daughters getting pregnant. My father was in my life, but not in my household. And he also is from an extremely conservative Christian family. So, you know, my upbringing was one of those that we didn't talk about sensuality. We didn't really talk about sex other than just my mom telling me not to do it. We're gonna fast forward a little bit and get to the chapter where I am a little older. In this part of my youth, I'm in high school and I am a freshman going to my sophomore year, and I meet this girl. Her name is Caitlin. Shout out. Now in retrospect, I realize how pertinent that individual is to the foundation of my current life, because Caitlin became a great friend to me and inspired me in so many ways to start dancing. I loved dance. I found a way that I could really express myself, a way that I could move, a way that I could just be like out here getting my groove on and looking cute. You know, we were part of the high school dance team. We were the saber dancers. We were like, yeah, we're on that field on Friday night. Yeah, we're performing in front of all varsity football players. About to go catch me a quarterback. Fast forward a few years and I'm getting out of the military. I'm looking for new things to do. And I have now been afforded the opportunity to go to college thanks to my GI Bill. One day when I was in college, I got a random package at the door. And I come up to my apartment door and I see these 3 boxes just sitting there in front of my doorstep. And I'm like, what the f is this? There's a note on it that says, I know how much you miss dancing, and I know how much you like trying new things. Here's the opportunity for you to express and reinvent all in one. And I'm thinking, who the heck is this from? I bring it in my house, I unwrap the box, and inside of these ginormous boxes is a stripper pole. I brought it in my apartment and I set it up. And I looked at that thing like, I have no clue what to do with this. So for 3 years, I let that pole sit in my apartment and I didn't do a damn thing with it. Later down the road, I ended up moving to Washington and I'm working for the government. And it was in my time with my partner here in Washington that things kind of started to unravel and my whole world slowly fell apart. My partner and I, we had split up. And losing this relationship, I realized, as important as this man is to me, I cannot be my real self with him. one of those big problems in our relationship was I felt like I couldn't express my sensuality because of sexual trauma that I had experienced in my life. And if you can't communicate with your partner about your needs, they don't know how to fulfill them. So it ate away at our relationship until finally we decided to get a divorce. Thank you to him for allowing me the opportunity to fully detach myself from him so I could find out who I really am. I realized that that lack of self-expression was the reason why I was not successful in our marriage. I couldn't operate the way my body needed to operate, and I was struggling to express myself because I felt that anything I did sexually was a trigger for my abuse, including dancing, because it can be so intimate to the body. I went to therapy for months. I worked on myself. I worked on being a better human. I decided to pull out a dance pole, put it up in my house, and I told myself I'm gonna teach myself how to use this thing. Taught myself a few moves here and there, and really my life was just too busy to do it full time. And again, I was in this place where I just couldn't afford to. Then I was doing marketing and public affairs. I was successful, but that job was not fulfilling to me. And I went on a trip to Mexico, and during that trip, I remember telling my friend at the time, who would later become my partner, I wish that I could just leave my job and do whatever I want to do for income from day to day, whatever that is. And he looked at me and he said, why can't you? And I look at him and I'm like, I have a 401k, I have retirement, I can't leave my job. Give me a break, right? I was miserable, okay? So I get back from Mexico in 2 days. After I get back, drama explodes in my job. I had been put under investigation for misuse of property because I had jacked up and logged into my iCloud account, which also transferred over a lot of information from my personal iMac. It was not a good time. So, I'm under investigation. I'm freaking out. They found stuff from my OnlyFans on there. They knew what I did already. They knew I did OnlyFans, but it wasn't the fact that I did OnlyFans, it was the fact that I did it and it found its way into a computer when I had linked my iCloud account to my work Mac. So I go to my boss, I run in the office and I'm like, I ain't trying to lose my eligibility to get reemployed. I want to maintain that 401k, all right? If I leave this job, do you guys continue with the investigation? Elsa looks at me and she's like, no. Which in my eyes just means like, girl, we just want you gone. So I write my resignation letter that day, submit it that day, and 2 days after I got back from Mexico, I was no longer an employee. I had no plan. I decided to take my ass onto the strip club. Sure did. Called my mom up, told my mom, Mom, I think I want to be a stripper. With a very low voice, she said, well, can I make your clothes? I about myself when that happened, I'm telling you, because if you know anything about my mom, you know that Dana doesn't play. My mom has come a long way from the conservative young mother she used to be. Whoever is in charge of the way that this cosmic universe works, I thank them for allowing her the freedom to be more relaxed. I wasn't making any money at first, okay? I was struggling. Then I decided I'm gonna take my ass onto a pole class and maybe learn a thing or two. So I walk on into Lilith, per my friend's suggestion, shout out Adrian. I take one pole class, never come back. A few weeks later, I get a call from the owner of Lilith, Alyssa, and she's like, hey, you wanna be a coach at my studio? And I'm looking around and I'm like, me? And Alyssa's like, yeah, girl, you. Complete imposter syndrome sets in. And I'm like, Alyssa, I'm not that good. She's like, girl, you're good enough and I'm gonna train you. I'm gonna learn you today. That's what she did. Alyssa and Paul and Adrian, and now our new instructor, Manaya, have been a community of people that I can really learn to grow into myself with. I came in my first few weeks of training not knowing what to do or how to interact with customers in that way, how to teach people, how to coach people, how to make them feel motivated when I was struggling to accept myself, and they just lifted me up. And that was so powerful for me. It was such a powerful feeling to experience, to be able to hear that from my mom and my future coworkers and the people surrounding me, that they were like, girl, we don't give a if you're a stripper. We don't give a what you do. We just want you to really authentically be yourself and try the things that interest you. And when I really leaned into that, when I trusted what they were saying, when I trusted myself, and I leaned into that, my whole world changed. Everything changed. I became a better friend, a better partner. That transition from working in the strip club to working as a coach, that inspired me in a way I've never been inspired before. It made me realize that in this environment, the studio and in the club, I'm the one in control of that sexuality. I'm the one that gets to make the decision. Nobody can take that from me there. I choose what I do with my body in that place. When that thought clicked, it was also another extremely powerful moment for me, because it helped me understand that I have the power to change the quality of my life with just my thoughts. And so I've been here ever since. I love teaching people about pole fitness because I want people to really see the capabilities that they have. I want people to understand the control that they're capable of, the strength they're capable of, the creativity they're capable of. And it doesn't have to be sexual. My experience just happens to have sexual ties and come from a place where I wanted to be able to express that sensuality. There have been so many benefits for me in pole. Obviously, my body has changed. I've become, relatively strong. I have kind of a six-pack for the first time in my life, which is like pretty cool, especially because I like to eat Cheetos a lot. More so than that, I found this overwhelmingly powerful sense of self-confidence, showing myself that I can do so much with so little. Look how many things I can now do with just my body and a pole. I love that ability to express and feeling that support for what I do in a world that will sometimes shame what I do because they think that it means I believe I'm less than. That doesn't mean it doesn't come with challenges, though. It comes with so many. Not everybody is going to understand what I do. Not everybody will understand why I do what I do. And that's okay. That is okay, because you know what? What they eat doesn't make me. My pole journey has been one of many years leading up to the actual act of pole dancing. But I've only been consistent in my journey for under a year, 11 months. Next month will be my 1 month, or my 1 year poling. So with that amount of progress, I feel so confident that I have the ability to one day open my own studio. And I just want to be able to inspire other people to really truly be their most authentic version of themselves, whatever that means. And to just be good to people. Just be good. Nobody in the world has more power to change their lives than you do. There's so much magic in who you are as a person, and I really, really hope that if you're considering pole as your journey, that you remember that. I love sharing my story, and there's so much about it that I haven't even been able to include in all of this. So if you have questions or comment, please put that in the comments section below. And if you are wondering how to sign up and what the next steps are, go to my Instagram and I will help you. Even if you're not in my area, I will help you, okay? So thank you for giving me your time. Please remember to like and subscribe to my page if you found this helpful. And if you know somebody who's thinking about it, please share it with them. Other than that, just stay true, guys. Stay true.
If we never don't know, someone's gotta change.